Segment 3, Gold and Black Live, and a very special and important guest, Dr. Andy Mesecar, who wears several hats at Purdue. One of them is that he is the director, Robert W. Miller, director of the Purdue Institute for Cancer Research. Tonight, Mackey Arena, a big night for Purdue men's basketball, but really a big night for the Purdue Institute for Cancer Research. Andy, first, thanks so much for taking the time on a busy day. But we're going to get into why it's important and the role that the Purdue Institute for Cancer Research continues to make in the battle for cancer.
Great. Glad to be here, Alan.
Well, you look at this tonight, and we'll look at the nuts and bolts of obviously Purdue, Michigan tonight in Mackey Arena, 8 p.m., a huge game. But the Hammer Down Cancer event has become a staple of Purdue athletics. You see it at football, you see it at volleyball, a number of Olympic sports as well. But talk about that and the importance of reaching that Purdue audience, Purdue athletic audience, but also to continue to educate and give opportunities to fans and interested folks that want to benefit and support research that's being done right here at Purdue.
Yeah, it's been great to watch the Hammer Down Cancer games grow over the years since I was deputy director for 13 years and now our director. You never know how these things are going to go. And we're at the point now where we've got a full-blown shirt and the tagline, Hammer Down Cancer. We're actually in the process of trademarking this, not only the phrase, but also the graphics. And so Purdue Athletics has been really helpful. And so that should be coming here soon. But the spirit of this is twofold. The first is bringing awareness to the Purdue community that, all of our fans out there, Purdue is making an impact on your lives through research in cancer being conducted on this campus, which is sort of a surprise. We know Purdue's STEM, and it's here, but we don't have a hospital. Right. And a lot of people are like, well, how can you be doing cancer research? Well, we come at this from a basic level, a fundamental level of what makes cancer cells different from normal cells. These are what our scientists are doing. We have 115 faculty here, over 1,000 total with undergrads, grads, and postdocs working on these problems. And so we're able to contribute in that way. And not only that, from that foundational research, our professors here at Purdue are doing startup companies and actually getting FDA-approved drugs into the market, right? Yeah. So, Pluvicto, it's out there. You see it on TV now.
Yeah.
Right? Professor Phil Lau, that's been his life's work. That is there now, and it's making an incredible impact on the lives of patients with prostate cancer, okay? Did you know that came from Purdue? Yeah. You can remember it now, Pluvicto, Purdue, right? That should say. So Boilermaker fans out there should be proud when they're sitting around watching the game tonight, or they see that commercial come on, say, hey, did you know that was invented at Purdue from Professor Lau? This is what we're doing here on campus, okay? And that's just the tip of the iceberg for what is happening through our engineering departments, through biological sciences, chemistry, you name it.
Yeah,
21 departments, in fact.
Yeah, and it is all it's been an ongoing process. Let's say that. I mean, in all your years as deputy director, now in the seat that you sit since 2023, making sure people are aware that this is going on, even though you live it every day, around it for a long time, and it's common knowledge to me, but it's not common knowledge to everyone. It's different. But this is research at Purdue, and it is about big strides that are being made by Purdue people, Dr. Philip Lau being one of them, an amazing individual and amazing things being done. All right, let's talk a little bit about the nuts and bolts tonight. Obviously, the warm-up shirts have already gone up for bid, and I believe it's closed now, the silent auction. But tonight's game jerseys,
right,
which I already saw on Facebook, are going for a good amounts. They're still in the reasonable level for many of them. But talk about that, and also people's opportunity to donate, not only tonight, but throughout this process.
Absolutely. So, Boilermaker fans can get involved in actually directly supporting research through, obviously, the warm-up jerseys that you just mentioned. We have the jersey auction that's going on, goes on through, past the game. Those can go for considerable amounts. You
Yeah.
can imagine Zach Eady's last year, that brought in a good amount of money. But they can also just make small donations, right? If you don't get the $500, jersey, then, $5 or $10 goes a long way when you put that across thousands of Boilermaker fans. And it's important to know that you can contribute, and that money is 100% utilized for cancer research. Okay. We're not taking this and squandering it on CEO salaries and all the other things that are happening. My salary's covered. I'm a professor, right? I'm doing that, working hard, getting federal grants. So none of that money goes to me. It goes to those researchers I mentioned to you before. It goes to the reagents and the things that they're using in the lab. So there's none of this fluff or all the other stuff. It goes right in there. So, you give $10, that $10 is going to end up in one of our investigators' lab here at Purdue, and exactly where that money stays. It stays in the Purdue community. And that's what I think is really important when everyone out there gets involved with this. It's like, where it's going to go. The researcher community that it's going to go to, and that's Boilermakers.
All right, tonight you'll also, I think, the first time out, I believe it is in the first half, you'll be on the court presenting a game ball. Tell us a little bit about that, because it's a special presentation. Yes, it's a chance to get in front of that 14,800 plus fans tonight, but also one thing about cancer and cancer research, everybody's affected by it. It is a personal, it's story, it is an emotional story. But talk about that tonight.
Sure. So tonight, what we'd like to do in these Hammer Down Cancer games is we'd like to recognize our scientists that are contributing to our cause. We'd like to also recognize, at times our donors and people that are contributing significantly, our volunteers that have done a lot for the Institute. So we try to mix it up, Ellen, and let people know that it takes a team across all different areas to make cancer research happen. All right. To your point, in the audience everywhere, 1 out of 2 men will get cancer and 1 out of 3 women will get cancer in their lifetime. That's a pretty sobering statistic. That's from the American Cancer Society. It's not made up. Now, that doesn't mean everybody that gets cancer will die from cancer, but they will have to go through some sort of treatment and to take care of it, right? And so we try to cover all of these with, the research that we're doing here. So that one moment on the floor at our Hammer Down Cancer games, if we're giving out the football for the football game or volleyball for the volleyball game or the basketball, is to recognize the individuals or groups. We gave it to the betas last year.
Yeah.
We've given it to the zetas because they do a remarkable job, both of those organizations here at Purdue, to raise money for research for Purdue Institute for Cancer Research. So it gives us the opportunity to recognize them in different ways, different communities, that it takes every one of them to help move our mission forward.
You look at that, and one of the things you mentioned has been the student interest. And even over the years, you have passionate non-athletes, but folks in cancer, because just about everybody is touched by cancer. But talk also about, athletics has been, you've got guys in this, happen to be tonight, men's basketball players, that this is a personal story for. And it goes back to Tyler Trent in 2018, and that story that made was a national story and remains one. It is an intensely personal journey for a lot of people, whether they're in athletics or whether they're students at Purdue. But I just sense that tide is rising in terms of more interest, more involvement from the student bodies, athletes or non-athletes.
Exactly. When you're going through, I'm a Boilermaker. I graduated in 1988 in chemistry here. And when you're in your late teens and you're 20, you're not thinking you'll ever get cancer or it's not affecting you. It just kind of go on. But a lot of our students, athletes are, right. They have family members, grandpas that are getting affected, or favorite aunts and uncles, and all this, and it hits some of them harder, right? Because they're at that age, very few of students fortunately don't have to go through this, but there are some, and it's devastating to them, right? Trying to get them through school, showing up for all the practices, things that go in, and keeping that focus is really difficult. And by bringing it to these sporting events, right, It not only it raises the awareness that you're not alone, right? That there are other students that are there, that you're in a place, an institution such as Purdue that is working to do something about it, right? I think that in the students, it brings a sense of pride. All the students that support Tyler Trent, they saw him go through directly. They felt for him, but they also, you think about it in their lives and the people that they're going through. And so it's fantastic to see that the students are organizing for this. And, and it's a tangible thing for them too, because they're raising this money, they're doing their volunteering. We'll have volunteers around Mackey tonight. You can stop by some tables and I'll be there at 7. And some of the other athletes will show up, that come around from the different sports, and you're making a contribution, and you can see it, right? It's right there. It's right at home. And I think that helps to build the community. And that's what we want to continue to do through these games, Alan.
Yeah. Game time, 8:00 tonight, Purdue, Michigan. A huge battle, but doors open. I think it is. It's at 7. You guys will be, and that's what's been interesting too. Has been that response that it is an awareness game. It is important that people understand that this is research being done right here at Purdue. Purdue's very proud of its academic standing in a number of different ways, but it is important to understand that these are Purdue students also that are also involved. Indirectly or directly on the research side of this too, because you have professors, you have folks like yourself that deal directly with students that get impacted by the research part of this.
Yeah, we call them, they're student researchers. We have student athletes, student researchers. So, that's say out of the normal classroom, we have the students are in labs. Some of them will work late at night because they're really passionate about getting results and contributing. So it's wonderful to see. And, these students end up leaving here and going on and becoming the MDs and the oncologists that are one day going to treat us. I go around here. I see my students at the dentist office. I've seen them at the doctor's office, right? And they're doing that part of it too. So it's really neat to see that, you're really working to train the next generation of cancer researchers. And to see how great of students that we have here at Purdue that are just going to do remarkable things with the rest of their careers.
Well, there is not a discussion of any kind anymore when you're talking about the big picture of things that AI doesn't come into the discussion. I don't know how you can do this in an elevator speech, but give us a synopsis of what impact AI is can have in cancer research, and what if does it make you hopeful down the road of dealing with this battle?
Well, I think everybody right now is probably their heads are spinning with all of the AI talk across all the different types of fields, right? I mean, everything's getting analyzed. Everything's AI. And, it's hard to separate out at this point what's the hype and what's not, like what's actually happening. But, we've actually been using AI here at Purdue for a number of years. For the last decade, it's infiltrated in, and you would expect that from Purdue, right? Yeah, it's been quiet, but you got great computer scientists here in the computer sciences department, mathematics, statistics that are using this. And then in the biological sciences and cancer. So how does this work, right? What are you trying to do? Well, imagine this, Alan. So the first thing we want to know is what makes a cancer cell different than a normal cell, right? So if you have a lung cell, what makes it become a cancer cell? What's the difference? See, the difference allows us to figure out how to kill the cancer cell. What we try to do is we get data on the thousands of genes that are in a normal cell and the thousands of genes in a cancer cell. We do all what's called DNA sequencing to get billions of what we call reads, these little bits that come out of the information, and then we have to analyze that data. And so that's where the AI comes in. We get thousands of samples, billions of these pieces of data, and then AI is helping us determine what makes the difference. Once we find those differences, then what we can begin to do is then take that gene and the protein that's made and develop drugs that specifically target those particular genes. He's like, what kind of genes are these? Well, imagine cancer cells grow faster. Cancer cells need more glucose, in some cases oxygen. So there are genes that those cancer cells start to make to outcompete the normal cells. So this is where we go after. All right. So now imagine we have millions of people in the population. Each cancer type is different. So we're trying to understand with AI how to analyze that data rapidly. So we get to the point where you walk in, or a patient walks in and gets a biopsy done. That biopsy is then sequenced and within a 24-hour period analyzed in terms of what is driving that cancer. And then if we know what's driving it, then we can select the treatment plan to go after that particular patient's tumor. This is what we call personalized medicine.
Yeah.
So you and I could have a different prostate cancer. Okay. You get a biopsy, I get a biopsy. I may have subtle differences, Alan, that I need a different treatment plan than you would. And so instead of guessing and going, well, you and I are going to get the same treatment, one of us will respond, the other one won't.
Yeah. And
if I go months and I'm not responsive, my cancer is growing. That's not a good thing. So this is what AI is doing, is being able to analyze these data sets faster. That's the practicality. Now, we're already doing this. There's patients out there, they get some of the sequencing done and the doctor's going, oh, this is driving your cancer. Case in point, my mom 3 years ago, she had a biopsy done and they found the gene in the protein that was driving her cancer. We were able to determine which treatment she should go and start utilizing within 2 weeks. Yeah. And she responded and knocked a baseball-sized tumor down to just a little pea over the course of 3 months. Okay, so she was fine. She is stable for a little over a year, and then the cancer came back. But see, when it came back, it had different drivers that we didn't quite understand, and the treatment wasn't matched up. And unfortunately, she passed a year ago summer from lung cancer. But that type of analysis gave her, a year of, a good life.
Yeah, it is, and it is. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a way to have to process this, but the mission is clear from the Purdue Cancer Institute. The mission is to cure cancer and to do whatever you can to be able to do that. So we will look forward to seeing you tonight on the floor at Mackey Arena. But those of you that are interested, we've put links up here how you can be a part of the jersey auction. You can always donate also to the Purdue Cancer Institute. A reminder, too, I think it's April the 12th. People know about the 5K run. That will also be taking place on campus, same day as the spring football game. It'll be the morning of that. What's, pardon me?
It's at night this year. We're doing a little something different. We're mixing it up.
Right, that's right. So it's going to be after that. That's right. It's going to be after it, and that will be a big. That'll be a big change, but a chance for even more participation in something that has raised a lot of money for the Purdue Cancer Institute and research right here down here at Purdue. So, Andy, thanks so much for your time. We always appreciate it. We also, more importantly, at least from my perspective, we're grateful for the work that you and so many of your colleagues do to try to deal with cancer and make us hopeful for all of us that are dealing with it in one form or another. It's extremely important work. Thanks, and enjoy the game tonight too. Maybe we'll see a Purdue win over Michigan.
I hope so. Thanks for the invitation, Alan.
All right. We want to thank also our friends at WLFI, Madison Kopp and Chris Collar, for helping this live stream come off, and also Triple X on the hill, but on the level of Purdue tradition since 1929. I'm going to guess that Dr. Mesecar has been there a time or two. And State Farm agent Trent Johnson at trentismyagent.com. We appreciate all of you. We will be back next week. January 31st. That will be a special game as well, Purdue, Indiana men's basketball, but we'll have a show as we're leading into that too. So have a great rest of your weekend, all. Again, make sure you support Hammer Down Cancer tonight in Mackey Arena. If you aren't at the game, there's still plenty of time to do it and ways to do it. You can always support research done right here at Purdue. Have a great rest of your day, all. Thank you.